How to book a golf trip to Scotland, presented by Seaside Golf Vacations, your source for national and international golf vacations. For years you've wanted to travel to Scotland to play golf, but you never knew how to get started. This presentation will show you how to plan the trip you've always wanted to take. In this video, I will show you the different golf regions in Scotland, how to plan your golf trip to Scotland, how to book a tee time on the old course at St Andrews, how to decide which other courses to play, the steps involved in booking your trip, how much it will cost, what to expect when you get to Scotland, and some sample packages that are available. But first, let's start with a geography lesson. Scotland is located north of England and northeast of Ireland and Northern Ireland. The capital is Edinburgh. The North Sea is to the east, the North Atlantic is to the west, and the Irish Sea is to the southwest. The national currency is the pound sterling, like England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, not the euro. Scotland is quite a bit farther north than most people realize. Its northernmost point is at 58 degrees north latitude, which is slightly north of Juneau, Alaska, or nearly 700 miles north of Thunder Bay, Ontario. This means that it stays light very late in the evening during the summer. Virtually every town in Scotland has a golf course, and most are public. Even most of the private courses welcome visitors, although tee times may be restricted by the time of day and day of the week. There are 6 primary regions that golfers visit in Scotland: the Highlands, Aberdeenshire, Ayrshire, East Lothian, Perth, and Fife. The Highlands, centered in Inverness, is noted for dramatic elevation changes, more natural golf courses, and slightly cooler temperatures and windier conditions. Notable courses in the Highlands are Royal Dornoch, Castle Stewart, Nairn, and Brora. Aberdeenshire, centered in the industrial town of Aberdeen, is noted for towering sand dunes and consistent offshore winds. Notable courses in Aberdeenshire are Royal Aberdeen, Trump International, Cruden Bay, and Merkur Links. Ayrshire, centered in the town of Prestwick, is noted for its rugged, rocky coastline and drier conditions. Notable courses in Ayrshire are Royal Troon, Turnberry, Prestwick, Western Gales, and Dundonald Links. East Lothian, which is east of Edinburgh, is the sunniest, driest part of Scotland with rolling countryside. With 22 golf courses along a 30-mile stretch of the southern coast of the Firth of Forth, it is known as Scotland's Golf Coast. Notable courses in East Lothian are Muirfield, North Berwick, and Gullin. Perth, located in the center of Scotland, has rolling hills and parkland-style golf courses. Notable courses in Perth are Glen Eagles, with its 3 courses, and Craigie Hill. Fife, centered in St Andrews, is known as the home of golf. Courses in the Kingdom of Fife are best known for undulating terrain and challenging historic courses. Notable courses in Fife are Carnoustie, Kingsbarns, Crail, and, of course, St Andrews. Getting there. There are 2 large international airports in Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow, welcoming flights from around the globe, and 2 smaller international airports in Inverness and Aberdeen, serving carriers flying from England, Ireland, and other European countries. Planning your trip to Scotland. First and foremost, start early. The bucket list courses that most people want to play start to fill up more than a year in advance. The St Andrews Links Trust holds an annual lottery during the last week of August and the first week of September for tee times on the old course for the following year. So knowing when and how to book is critical, and working with a reliable, experienced golf tour operator is equally important. Determine how many people you want in the group. Group sizes of 8 to 12 are typical. As the group size increases, so do the logistics, making it even more imperative that you work with an experienced golf tour operator. If you're planning on traveling with more than 8 golfers, keep in mind the issues with getting tee times on the old course at St. Andrews, which I'll discuss shortly. Decide if you want to include non-golfers in the group. If so, you'll need to make plans for activities for them while you're on the golf course. Get a firm commitment from the people who say they want to go on the trip. This means a financial commitment. Make sure the people who say they are in are truly committed. Changes to reservations on the old course at St. Andrews are very difficult, and it may be costly. I'll discuss this at length later. Get a consensus on the dates you want to travel. Plan around birthdays and anniversaries of those going on the trip and those you're leaving at home. Check on dates of high school and college graduations and try to avoid those dates. Take note of when and where the Open Championship, the British Open, will be held and plan accordingly. If you want to attend the Open, book well in advance as hotel rooms will be scarce and expensive. If you don't plan on attending the Open, you might want to avoid that region where the Open will be held for the same reasons. Decide which regions of Scotland you want to visit based on the courses you want to play, the cities you want to visit, and non-golf activities you want to include. Decide if you want to visit other countries, such as Ireland, Northern Ireland, England, and Wales. You may be traveling a long way at great expense, so you might want to tick a few other items off your bucket list. Establish your wish list of courses and get a consensus from the group as to which courses everyone must play. Determine if each member of the group is committed to going if he or she can't get on a specific course, such as the old course at St. Andrews, and have a backup plan if you can't get on that course and one or more people drop out as a result. As with any vacation, decide how many nights you want to stay and how many rounds of golf you want to play. Remember that you're going to be traveling overnight if you're flying from the US, so you'll need to decide if you want to play the day you arrive. I recommend playing 3 or, at most, 4 days in a row. Remember that you're probably going to be walking every round of golf, so don't be a golf warrior. You may regret it later. Determine everyone's acceptable level of quality of lodging. Do you want to save some money on lodging and spend it on golf, or do you want to stay in first-class lodging? 3-star lodging is clean and comfortable, but not luxurious, and you may not have an elevator in your hotel. Plan events for your off days, travel days, and for non-golfers. Suggested activities are castle and garden tours, whiskey tours, woolen mills and shops, souvenir shopping, and attending the Open Championship, the British Open. Determine which airports you will fly into and out of based on the cost of flights, flight schedules, and the regions you want to visit. Scotland is a relatively small country, roughly the same size as South Carolina, so you can fly into Glasgow and drive to St. Andrews in under 2 hours or Aberdeen in under 3. Decide if you want to drive your own vehicle or hire a van or bus with a driver. Remember, if you drive yourself, you'll be driving on the opposite side of the road. And many rental vehicles have a manual transmission, which you'll have to shift with your left hand. And your U.S. auto insurance may not cover you. If you drive yourself, travel insurance is vital. I strongly suggest you book with a golf package company that has experience booking golf vacations from the U.S. to Scotland. It won't cost you any more, and you'll save a lot of time and effort. You'll also have an advocate on your side based in the U.S. should you run into any problems. Now, let's talk about the course just about everyone wants to play, the old course at St. Andrews, the holy grail of golf courses. Getting a tee time on the old course is a complicated and intimidating process. Let's start with a little information about the courses in St. Andrews. There are 5 championship-length courses: the Old Course, the New Course, the Jubilee Course, the Eden Course, and the newest member of the family, the Castle Course. There is one shorter course, the Strathrium Course, and one executive 9-hole course, the Belgove Course. All the courses in St. Andrews are municipal courses that are owned by the people of the town. In 1974, the town of St. Andrews established a government agency to operate the golf courses, named the St. Andrews Links Trust. There are 5 ways to get tee times on the Old Course: through the annual lottery, through the nightly ballot, walking on as a casual golfer, through a hotel trade slot, or through the Old Course experience. The annual lottery. Every August, the Links Trust accepts entries into its annual lottery for tee times on the Old Course for the following year. The Links Trust accepts entries for a 2-week period spanning the end of August and 1st of September. An entry into the annual lottery must contain a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 8 names. There are very strict rules associated with an entry. The entry must include each person's name, home course, and handicap index. A person's name can only appear on one entry. If the same name is found on 2 entries, both entries are disqualified. Only one person per foursome may be replaced, and your ID may be checked by the starter when you reach the course. The lead golfer, the person who submits the entry, cannot be replaced on the reservation. The entry must include a request for tee times on 2 St. Andrews courses, the Old Course and one of the other 4 championship courses. If a tee time is awarded, the fees must be paid in full at the end of November, and no refunds are given. When you submit the entry, you're asked to select up to 3 2-week date ranges during which you would like to have a tee time. I strongly suggest you check the St. Andrews Links Trust website, where you'll find a list of busy dates, those dates when the Old Course is unavailable. The results of the annual lottery are announced in the middle of October, so you'll wait over a month to find out whether or not you receive a tee time on the Old Course. If you are awarded a tee time on the Old Course, it's take it or leave it. You won't be able to exchange your tee time for another time or day. The nightly ballot. Every afternoon, except Fridays, the Links Trust holds a nightly ballot as a means to award tee times not sold through the annual lottery. Slightly more than half of all tee times are awarded through the annual lottery, leaving nearly half of all tee times available through the nightly ballot. The nightly ballot is used to award tee times 2 days in the future. The Saturday ballot awards tee times for Monday, the Sunday ballot for Tuesday, etc. You can enter the nightly ballot online, by phone, or in person. As with the annual lottery, if a name appears on duplicate entries, both entries are disqualified. The results are posted online. The ballot is held Sunday through Thursday. There is no ballot on Friday because the Old Course is closed on Sundays. The ballot can only be used to get a tee time for a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 4 golfers. The ballot closes at 2 p.m. local time, and results are posted online at 4:30 p.m. The nightly ballot is used to award tee times on the Old Course only, so it's not necessary to book a tee time on any of the other St. Andrews courses. Casual golfers, or what we call a walk-on golfer. The Old Course starter will attempt to pair casual golfers with twosomes or threesomes who have a tee time. This method is primarily aimed at single golfers, but it is possible, although unlikely, that a twosome would be able to play together. Golfers hoping to walk on as casual golfers should arrive at the starter's house near the first tee of the Old Course as early as 3 o'clock a.m. and be prepared to wait in line until the starter arrives at 6:30. And you should cross your fingers. However, virtually everyone I know who has arrived by 3 o'clock or 3:30 has successfully walked on to the Old Course. Trade slots. The St. Andrews Links Trust allocates a very small number of tee times on the Old Course to some companies based in St. Andrews. Trade slots are allocated to hotels located in St. Andrews, notably the Old Course Hotel, the Rusacks Hotel, and the Fairmont St. Andrews, and a limited number of golf tour operators based in St. Andrews. The hotels and tour operators bundle these tee times with lodging and golf on other courses, and mark up the price by around 50%. The Old Course Experience is a tour operator based in London that has had a contract with the St. Andrews Links Trust for approximately 20 years. They have exclusive rights to a substantial number of tee times on the Old Course. The Old Course Experience bundles tee times on the Old Course with tee times on 2 or 3 other courses and 3 or 4 nights of lodging in 4.5 to 5-star hotels. The Old Course Experience takes advantage of its monopoly status by marking up the cost of golf and lodging by a huge amount, charging more than $3,600 for a 3-night, 3-round package. This has priced many average golfers out of the market. The Old Course Experience contract with the St. Andrews Links Trust expires at the end of 2017. So changes are coming for the 2018 golf season. The tee times that were allocated to the Old Course Experience will now be allocated as commercial tee times to multiple golf tour operators around the world. The increased number of tour operators with access to tee times should lead to much lower prices through competition. Tour operators who have commercial tee times that they're unable to sell will make their tee times available to other tour operators. All of which will lead to greater availability of tee times at lower prices, making the course more accessible for the average golfer. But there's one more way to get a tee time on the Old Course. As a last resort, you could try and get on the Old Course through dark times. Dark times are the 7 tee times after the last published tee time of the day. Basically, those tee times during the hour following the last published tee time. Golfers playing during the dark times are not guaranteed to finish before dark, hence the name. To request a dark time, speak with the starter during the morning and ask to be put on the dark time waiting list. Locals have priority for available dark times, so even if you're first on the waiting list, you could be bumped. The waiting list closes 30 minutes prior to the first dark time of the day. Ask the starter what time you should return to the course when you sign up for the waiting list. So the bottom line is that it is possible to get a tee time on the Old Course. It just takes patience, planning, perseverance, a willingness to pay the price in terms of money, time, and effort, and a knowledgeable golf tour operator to guide you through the process. Now that we've jumped through the hoops associated with getting a tee time on the Old Course, it's time to talk about how you decide which other courses to play. It's virtually impossible to play all the top courses in Scotland during one trip, or even all the courses that host the Open Championships. So you'll need to prioritize the list of courses you want to play. Select courses based on which regions you want to visit. Decide if you only want to play links courses, or if you want to include some parkland courses, like those at Glen Eagles. Do you want to play as many courses in the British Open Rota as possible? Decide how much traveling you want to do. You can certainly have a memorable trip if you check into a hotel in St. Andrews and stay there for a week, playing only courses within 35 or 40 minutes of the hotel. Determine how much money each member in your group is willing to spend. The budget restrictions of the most frugal person in your group may dictate which courses you can or can't play. Trust a reliable, experienced tour operator to steer you towards the best values, the courses that work together geographically, and where you can find some hidden gems. Among the featured courses in Scotland, you'll find 14 of the top 50 links courses in the world, and that doesn't even include the courses in the St. Andrews Links Trust. Now it's time to look at the steps involved in booking your Scottish golf vacation. Enter the St. Andrews Old Course Annual Lottery. For tee times in 2018, the St. Andrews Links Trust begins accepting entries on August 24, 2017. The window closes on September 7th. If you and/or other members of the group won't travel to Scotland without a guaranteed tee time on the Old Course, don't wait for the lottery. By the time you find out whether or not your entry into the lottery has been accepted, the commercial tee times available through golf tour operators will be gone. So, if not getting a tee time on the Old Course is a deal killer, bite the bullet, pay a little extra, and book a commercial tee time. Assuming you want to play the Old Course at St. Andrews, be ready to book the rest of your tee times as soon as you have that tee time secured. The longer you wait, the better the chances are that you won't get the tee times you want on the other courses on your wish list. Book your lodging. Hotels, particularly those in St. Andrews, fill up very quickly once the results of the annual lottery are announced. Book your flights. Keep an eye on airline prices. Explore different gateway cities. Choose which airport you'll fly into and out of in Scotland. And you don't have to return from the same one into which you flew. Talk to an experienced golf tour operator. He or she can guide you towards the best deals and help you with the logistics. Reserve your ground transportation. If you want to drive yourself, make sure you have a vehicle or two that's big enough to hold your group, including their golf bags and luggage. Few things can put a damper on a golf trip faster than having vehicles that don't comfortably transport your group around Scotland. If you want to hire a van and driver, get several quotes, or depend on your golf tour operator to coordinate with a reliable transportation company that charges a fair price. Buy travel insurance. You're making a big financial investment. A lot of things can happen between the time you book and the time you travel. Many of the deposits you pay, particularly to golf courses and transportation companies, are non-refundable, and other members of your group are depending on you to cover certain aspects of the price, such as transportation and lodging. Establish a USGA handicap if you don't already have one. Many courses require golfers to present a handicap card showing that they are skilled enough to play the course. Many golf courses require a handicap of 24 or better for men and a handicap of 36 or better for women. Check the expiration date of your passport. If necessary, renew it right away. Don't wait until the last few weeks and worry about getting it back from the State Department in time to travel. So why should you book with a tour operator? An experienced golf tour operator will know where to stay, which courses to play, when to book your tee times and lodging, a tip that will help you double your chances of having a winning entry in the Old Course Lottery, what alternatives are available to the Old Course Lottery, including where to find commercial tee times, and the contacts you need to make reservations you want for ground transportation, lodging, whiskey tours, sightseeing tours, etc. And you won't have to invest the time or money needed to put everything in place. An experienced golf tour operator will make all your in-country reservations, including hotel, golf, possibly including the Old Course at St. Andrews, and ground transportation. Will allow you to make payments over time instead of paying everything at the time the reservations are made, and it won't cost you a penny more. So what should you expect when you get to Scotland? At the current exchange rate, £1 equals approximately $1.35 in US dollars. The price of a round of golf will range from £80, roughly $110, to £345, roughly $450. Many courses require a deposit of 50 to 100% of the cost of the round of golf at the time you book your tee times. As I mentioned, many deposits are non-refundable. Lodging will cost £75 to £90, that's $100 to $120 US, per person per night for a room in a 3-star hotel, and £200 to £240, $270 to $325 US, per person per night for a room in a 5-star hotel. These prices are based on 2 people to a room and includes a full Scottish breakfast. I'm often asked what kind of weather conditions to expect. It will rain. I tell people if you don't play golf in the rain, you don't play golf in Scotland. So bring your rain gear, including a rain hat, and bring 2 pairs of golf shoes. That way you can let 1 pair dry out in the hotel while you're playing golf the next day. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s to low to mid-70s during the day, and in the low 50s at night. So bring lots of layers. It will be windy. Expect steady winds of 15 to 18 miles per hour, with gusts of 20 to 25 miles per hour. Most importantly, embrace whatever weather you experience. Play with a smile on your face. If it rains and the winds are howling, it will make for a better story once you get home. As I mentioned earlier, expect to walk every golf course. Golf carts, or buggies as they call them, are rare and often limited to those with a letter from a physician or a certificate showing a permanent disability. Because you will, most likely, be walking every golf course, you'll have to carry your bag, rent a pull or push cart, what they call a trolley, or hire a caddy. I highly recommend hiring caddies. A good caddy can make the experience much more enjoyable, but it will increase your expenses. The average caddy fees are £40 to £50, roughly $55 to $70 US per round, plus gratuity. The recommended gratuity is £20 to £25, $25 to $35 US per round. If you wish to hire a caddy, ask your golf tour operator to request a caddy when he or she books your tee times. Remember, even if you request a caddy well in advance, caddy reservations are never guaranteed. Many courses are reserved for member play on Saturday mornings, so expect to play golf in the afternoon on Saturdays, or make Saturday your travel days. It's highly likely that most or all of the golf courses you'll play in Scotland are links courses. When playing links courses, expect to find pot bunkers, many of them hidden from view from off the tee; gorse, a thorny, dense, low-growing evergreen that swallows golf balls; fescue grass that can be knee-deep or higher; burns, or streams, that are often only a yard or less wide; and lots of undulations on fairways and greens. Finally, let's look at some sample packages. Package 1. With a peak season price of £1,815 per person, roughly $2,400 US, you'll get 4 nights in Aberdeen staying in a 3-star suites hotel with rounds of golf on Cruden Bay Golf Links, Royal Aberdeen Golf Links, and Trump International Golf Links. You'll also have 4 nights in St. Andrews at the famed Scores Hotel, located only 75 yards from the first tee of the old course at St. Andrews and the R&A Clubhouse. You'll also have 3 rounds of golf in Fife, playing the championship course at Carnoustie Golf Links, Kingsbarns, and the Balcombe Links at Crail Golf Club. Package number 2. At a peak season price of £2,234 per person, roughly $3,000 US, you'll have 4 nights in Troon in the Marine Hotel located on the 18th hole of the old course at Royal Troon, with 3 rounds of golf in Ayrshire, playing the old course at Royal Troon, the Ailsa course at Turnberry Resort, and Western Gales Golf Club. Then you'll have 4 nights in St. Andrews in the Scores Hotel and 3 rounds of golf in Fife, playing at Carnoustie, Kingsbarns, and Crail. Package number 3. For a price of £2,582 per person, roughly $3,500 US during the peak season, you'll get 3 nights in a hotel on the river in Inverness and play 3 rounds of golf in the Highlands, playing Royal Dornoch, Castle Stewart, and Nairn Golf Links. From there you'll move to Aberdeenshire and stay for 4 nights in a hotel in downtown Aberdeen and playing 3 rounds of golf at Cruden Bay, Royal Aberdeen, and Trump International. Then it's on to St. Andrews for 4 nights in the Scores Hotel with 2 rounds of golf in Fife, playing at Carnoustie and Kingsbarns. So now you know what it takes to plan a dream golf vacation to Scotland. Let's get started. Please contact Seaside Golf Vacations by calling 877-732-6999 from the US or Canada, or 843-281-9347 worldwide. Or you can email us at golfscotland@seasidegolf.com. If you get in touch with us, I'll tell you what that trick is for doubling your chances of winning the Old Course Lottery. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I look forward to working with you, and I'm ready and eager to answer any of your questions.